now I'm on the right side of the page, and this is examples. I'm just going to do 2 examples so you have a chance to try it. So, first example. Please copy it carefully. 15 is greater than 2x plus 1. Okay, so I'm just going to follow the directions on the left side. And so the directions say, and you're reading them off your left side, I'm reading off of my left side. It says solve like an equation. Okay, so I'm going to just pretend this is an equal sign for a second, right? If it was an equal sign, what would I do first? Well, the x is over here. I want the x by itself, right? And so right now, what do I have with the x? I have a 2 being multiplied, a 1 being added. So what do I do first? Well, remember, I'm using reverse order of operations, so I'm going to get rid of addition and subtraction first, right? So I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides. And notice I'm subtracting it from both sides, right? Some of you like to draw the line where the equal sign is. You can draw the line where the inequality symbol is, that's fine. This is 14, and this is 2x, okay? Because this cancels. One thing is that sometimes when you're solving, you forget and you just write an equal sign. It's not the end of the world, right? You can go back at the end and put the inequality symbol back in, but it's a good habit to just remember to bring it down every step. Okay? And so then, next step, I have 2 times x, so I'm going to divide by 2. Divide by 2. 14 divided by 2 is 7, and is greater than x. Okay? And so you can see it very much feels like solving equations so far. So I've solved an equation, I have the x by itself. So then step 2, I'm looking at step 2 of my notes, is check the order. And the order should be variable, symbol, constant. And so this is not, right, this is not the order I prefer it the other way. And so I'm going to flip-flop it. And remember when I flip-flop it, that if I put the x here and the 7 here, I have to flip this symbol. So this is x is less than 7. Okay, x is less than 7. Now, I'm going to go ahead and graph it. So just draw yourself a line. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, and then go ahead and just put like 5 tick marks on it. Okay, 5 is plenty. So we're talking about x is less than 7. I'm going to put 7 in the middle. It's going to be 8, 9. And this will be 6, 5. Okay, so it says step 3, circle the number or constant on the number line. So that's my step 3. I'm going to circle. And then decide whether it's an open circle or a closed circle. And I'm just looking at my notes, right? And I'm noticing the symbols that get me an open circle versus a closed circle. This is less than, x is less than 7. So that's saying x can't be equal to 7. It has to be less than. That's an open circle, right? I don't want to shade 7. I want to keep 7 open, right? This is not, x is not allowed to be 7. It has to be less than 7. So I'm going to keep it open. And then it says shade the numbers that make it true. So if I were to plug, and here's what that means, like, let's say if I were to plug in numbers, like let's say if I were to plug in 5. 5 is less than 7. Is that true? Yes, that's true. What if I were to plug in 9? Is 9 less than 7? No, that's false, right? So I don't want to shade in this direction. These numbers make it false. 8 is less than 7, that's false. 9 is less than 7, that's false, right? We don't want to shade that. We want to shade the side that makes it true, right? So we want to shade this way, the numbers that make it true. Okay, and feel free to use color like I did. You can write this here, or maybe even better would be to write it right up here so you can sort of see right as you're, right, this is false. So if you have any questions about this one, please pause and ask them, right? Don't stay with questions. Here's example number 2. All right. How do I solve this? Here's my x. I want x by itself. I have something being multiplied. I have something being added. Let's deal with the addition first, right? I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides. Okay. I get negative 4x over here is less than or equal to negative 3 minus 5, right? That's negative 3, negative 5. Nothing cancels here. There's no negatives and positives. That's 8 negative signs. Okay, looks like this. And then And notice the sign doesn't flip here, right? I'm subtracting from both sides. So that doesn't make the sign flip. But now what I'm going to do, this is x times -4. I'm going to divide by -4. And remember what happens when I multiply or divide by a negative, the sign will flip. Negative divided by negative is a positive. Okay? So when I multiply or divide by a negative, that's when the sign flips. Okay? So let's go ahead and graph this. Okay, I'm just going to do 5 tick marks. X is greater than or equal to 2. This is in the correct order, right? So I've solved it. Check the order. Variable, symbol, constant. Looks good. Circle the constant number on the number line. So let's put the 2 right in the middle. Put a circle on it. It's going to be 1, 0, 3, 4. Okay. And then is it an open circle or a closed circle? Well, let's see. I have a greater than or equal to sign. So I look at my notes and I see a greater than or equal to sign is in the closed circle section. So I'm going to close that circle. And then I'm going to shade the numbers that make it true. This says x is greater than 2. X is greater than 2. Well, let's see. What's greater than 2? Is 1 greater than 2? No. 0? No. Is 3 greater than 2? Yes. That's a larger number than 2. How about 4? Yes. So I'm going to go ahead and shade. Right? Do this. I'm going to go ahead and shade in this direction. Okay, and feel free to just use the color pens to shade. I just forgot when I did the circle. Okay, so that's that. I'm not going to do another full example, but I just want to, I've done a lot of shading with positive numbers, and I just want to really quick show you the graphing and the shading with negatives, right? So let's say I have something like x is less than -4. Okay, let's just so you can see this. I think some of you might be a little bit uncomfortable with it. We're going to start the same, which is we're going to have the 5 tick marks. I'm going to put the -4 in the middle. Now, let's fill in the other side. So remember, negative numbers, they go in reverse order, right? So this would be -5 and -6. This would be -3 and -2. So I'm going to put the circle here, right? And then I decide, is it open or closed? Well, this is a less than sign, and less than results in an open circle, so I'm going to leave it open. And then the question is, which direction do I shade? Which numbers are less than -4? And with negative numbers, it can be just a little bit harder to think about because we don't have like a real life sense of what negative numbers mean. And so if you struggle with this, here's a really good strategy, is decide, does 0 make this true, right? Is 0 less than -4? And you can look up at the number line on the front of the room. 0 is less than -4 is not true, right? 0 is more than negative numbers, and it's less than positive numbers. So 0 is less than -4 is not true. It's not true. So we don't want to shade 0. So where would 0 be on this number line? Well, it would be like here, right? -1, 0. So we don't want to shade 0. So we want to shade the other way. Right? So negative numbers can be a little bit tricky, but take your time and figure it out. And one way to figure it out is to ask yourself, is 0 less than or greater than this, right? And so remember, 0 is always more than negative numbers. And you can see that on the number line at the front of the room, that 0 is to the right of negative numbers. It's larger than them. Okay, so that's what it would look like with negative numbers, right? This would be less than. And now it's your turn.